Hello, in this video, I will enjoy a visual feast with everyone, chewing on the scenes that seem to me to be very emotional. As we all know, photography can not only create beautiful images, but also convey humanity and emotion through images. Maybe you have seen or not watched the movie Atonement, but now we will walk into the hidden emotional space that belongs to the Atonement.
Love you, marry you, and live without shame.
Atonement, a film directed by Jill White, tells the story of a story that changed the fate of three young people in an English manor in the 1930s. The 13-year-old Bryony made an absurd decision out of ignorance and imagination, which brought eternal regret to a pair of lovers and sins that she could not repent in her life. Some people say that Atonement is a soul elegy full of regrets. That's right. This is a movie that people can't forget after watching it for a long time. But from the perspective of photography aesthetics, perhaps the beautiful picture presentation and the composition of photography can give people some comfort in an atmosphere of regret. Next, I will share from the perspective of frame and lens composition. The first part is about the use of foreground. It is not difficult to know that the foreground often increases the sense of space and perspective of the picture, which is used to emphasize the characters or the picture. In Atonement, a large number of foreground shots are used, among which the most prominent ones are the foreground of the characters and the mirror. Using people as the foreground often creates an "I'm secretly watching you" vibe. For example, in the movie, Bryony is always peeping into Robbie and Cecilia's private life, and when Robbie and Cecilia talk alone, they use a lot of shooting methods with people as the foreground, as if the clock Leonie was silently peeking behind her, and in the mood for love. The foreground blocking composition is also often used, showing a visual effect of not confessing and escaping, which strengthens the narrowness of the space and highlights the characters in the picture. This atmosphere is really very secretive. Taking the mirror as the foreground, shooting the characters in the mirror creates a strong sense of haze and highlights the emotion of the subject by emphasizing the relationship between the distance and the reality of the picture. For example, in this picture, the picture is constantly switching between the mirror images of Robbie and Cecilia, which invisibly magnifies the ambiguous emotions of the two and paves the way for the following. The second part is about the use of framework diagrams. The so-called frame diagram is to frame the main body of the screen with a frame in Atonement. The frame diagram is often used to highlight the main body and render the atmosphere of the picture, while making the audience concentrate. They can concentrate on feeling the story of the movie, of course. In addition to this, the frame diagram can also be used to express constraints and restraints. For example, in Raise the Red Lantern, the women living in the backyard are often expressed in frames. The third part is about the use of symmetrical composition. Symmetrical composition is a very common composition technique. It can often make the picture present a sense of symmetry, balance, and stability. The use of a large number of symmetrical images in Atonement relieves the tortuous and embarrassing emotions and creates a peaceful and solemn atmosphere. As you can see, symmetrical composition is the composition with the strongest visual sense. And it is an important technique used by the director to convey the core of the story. For example, in 2001: A Space Odyssey, symmetrical composition is mostly used to express order, mystery, and esoteric. The fourth part, about silhouette panorama shooting. Silhouette fragments use the contrast of light and dark to make the characters form outlines in the environment. It takes full advantage of the difference in light received between the subject and the background. It can be said that the form is the language, and the background is the tone of voice. And this language sometimes speaks louder than silent and often affects people's hearts more than the face, which is left to the creators to figure out and experience. It is often more touching than the face. That's all for today, and I think the film will do a good job of showing us that sensibility and skill go hand in hand.